What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Parker Chronicles podcast, where we review, dissect, and rank your favorite film franchises. Today, we are reviewing the infamous Jaws the Revenge, aka Jaws 4. Wow. And today, we have returning the co-host down here. Woo-hoo. Nemesis Angel's back, everybody. Hey, welcome back. And for the 8th week in a row, the other co-hosts, DNA Gaming.
That doesn't sound very flattering at this point. They just won't leave after 8 weeks.
We keep giving them shit and they won't go.
They won't take the hint.
Well, you just get out of here. No. Oh, my God. But welcome back. Thank you so much. Oh, my God. We got some craziness happening in the chat already. We got 20 months from DNA Gaming. What?
Show off.
And then Nemesis coming in with a 27-month resub.
The little thing came up.
Nemesis was my first sub ever on Twitch. So thank you, Nemesis.
At least it was him and nobody else. So, I mean, at least your brother's supporting you.
Yeah.
Could be worse. Could be like this. Go ahead.
I still remember the day. I still remember what I was playing. Actually, we were playing a game together. It's a memory that will stay with me forever, you know? Wild stuff. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Jaws 4. Holy moly. This movie. While I pull up IMDb and get all of my facts and trivia and all that fun stuff,
let's go. A really cool name, and I'm going to find it. It was something Van Weebles or Beebles.
Mario Van Peebles. Mario Van Peebles.
I thought it was Peebles.
Oh, actually, before we go around the room, I just want to let everybody know that we do record this show live on Twitch. On my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/theparkerxp. But the show is also on all podcast services. So whatever podcast service you listen on, the show will be there. Just type in the Parker Chronicles in your search bar, and you should get it. If it's not on your podcast provider, let me know, and I will make it sure that happens. This show is live every Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, except today. Today we went live a little later, and my apologies on that. We'll blame Nemesis for this one today. He comes back and makes us all late. So just letting everybody know, since we do record this live on Twitch, if people are in my chat, you know, of course, we were already thanking people for dropping subs and people drop follows and all that stuff. I will be talking to them. So if you're listening to this podcast going, what the hell is going on? That is what is going on. All right. What's up?
There's two Van Peebles in this movie.
Is there really?
Multiplying?
Was this his wife?
Mario Van Peebles and a Melvin Van Peebles. I'm guessing it's father and son.
Wow. That could be. That could be.
Because Melvin looks a lot older than Mario, so I'm guessing.
Wow. All right, before we get started on the review, or on the plot and the trivia, let's go around the room here and talk about what we thought of Jaws the Revenge. We will start with DNA Gaming. Let's do this.
You're up. Let's hear it. Lay us that thick, juicy slab. Keep going. Hey, don't listen. Don't misconstrue what I'm thinking. I'm talking about steak. All right.
The conversation that we had before
was about steak, Carrie.
Makes me think otherwise. Anyways, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the human parts of it, not just the shark parts. Until the end.
So when you wait, before we went live, you did show me that you wrote on your notes 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Yeah, you come out first saying I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the human part. You said all this stuff, and then you said the ending, which yes, the ending is dog shit. Wait, you were kidding that it was good, or
that it was bad? That I hated it.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just kidding.
I mean, you wrote it down on your notes. We all thought that was the truth.
No.
Okay.
but I can't give it a 10 out of 10.
No way. Yeah.
It was fun. It was fine. I mean, like, I don't want to go into it because we'll discuss it more in the film, but
It's okay.
certain key human characters, particularly two, I actually really enjoyed them on screen. So we'll get into that later. But it was fun. It was okay. The movie, the ending was amazing. It's top notch. Number one. Like, End Game should take notes from this.
Bad.
I'm telling you, it was just quality.
It takes the cake, and it takes the cake for endings because watching it again, I was like, this is lazy. This was absolutely lazy. But we'll get to why I think it's lazy when we get to that point in the plot review. Nemesis?
I'm just gonna say this. If any of you ever encounter a shark that growls, I'll give you $1 million. I'll just pay you out. Because no, I was actually telling him while we were watching it, I said the acting actually wasn't that bad, but like the acting was so much better in this one than it was in the third one. But the shark like actual attack scenes were super lame. I mean, it just looked like a rubber ducky coming up with his jaws. And just I was like, what is this? This is horrible.
What is happening?
I'm surprised you didn't squeak it and you just go squeak, squeak, like a rubber duck. Like, it's Bruce. What happened?
Like, what is happening?
Yeah. So when it comes to the actual like the shark parts, I thought they were horrible. The human parts actually weren't that bad. I think the acting was actually not horrible. I wouldn't say it's top notch, but it wasn't horrible.
All right, my turn.
That's my take. Yeah, go ahead.
My turn. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was, I knew it was bad. I knew it was not a good movie, but I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this hour and a half. Let's just point out this movie was only an hour and a half, and it went by like that. Everything happened really quick, and then it was over, and we're like, all right, that. Whew, I didn't feel like I was like sitting there like waiting for something to happen or something like they took something a little bit too far or made something too long. Everything was kind of to the point. Things happened, and then it was over. The fact that they got Lorraine Gary, who plays Ellen Brody, they got her back for this movie was just top notch. They got Michael Caine, Michael Caine was an established actor at this point. This wasn't like a movie that was like, oh, this is where Michael Caine came from. No, this man is a legend. Like he is an amazing actor. I don't know. So we'll get to that because there actually is an interview with him that he did like 25 years after this movie came out about why he ended up doing this movie. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Thought it was, it was stupid, but it was like I was entertained as I was watching. Or Jaws 3, it was utterly just terrible. All right, let's get to some of the trivia and all that fun stuff here, like we do. Jaws: The Revenge, as it is officially titled, came out in 1987, so it came out 4 years after Jaws 3D, and it came out 12 years after the original Jaws. It was directed by Joseph Sargent, which the funny thing is that Michael Caine comes out and says a lot, like he definitely, this movie is bad. He didn't like this movie. But he went on to work with this director a few more times. So clearly he liked the director, didn't like the movie itself. Bad screenwriting, and all that. He's also the director of the original Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which actually starred original Jaws star Robert Shaw and Walter Matthau back in 1974.
That's a good movie. I've never seen that.
He did a lot of television. Nothing. Going through his IMDb, not really a lot of stuff that like really stepped out to me. He directed a couple episodes of the original Star Trek, the original Fugitive show. Other than that, nothing crazy. Yeah, it's funny because Michael Caine actually stars, I think he did 4 films with this guy from looking through the IMDb. I saw that Michael Caine was in like 3 or 4 of these films. I was like, well, clearly he likes the guy. I think that's probably one of the reasons why Michael Caine signed on to this movie, because I think he had done movies with this guy in the past. And I think he did one a few years after this as well. But I think he just, he had a good repertoire with this guy and said, sure, why not? You're going to pay me. Like, I think he got paid a lot of money to do this. Michael Caine did.
I would hope so.
And so, go ahead.
$1.5 million for 7 days in the Bahamas.
7. What? That has to be one of the best film. Like, listen, we're going to pay you $1.5 million to spend a week in the Bahamas. All right, I don't really care what it is. Just sure, why not? And to be honest, I thought he did a good job. Like he was the comic relief. He was, always kind of keeping you engaged, and I think he fit well with Ellen. I think they had a pretty good relationship for, even though it was not very long. But he actually says in an interview, because they asked him, do you remember being in a Jaws film? And he's like, oh, I've never seen it before, but I do like the house that it bought my mom.
There you go.
Which I thought was fantastic. He doesn't actually talk any shit about the movie. Michael Caine's a very, he's a very proper man, and he's a legend.
Absolutely.
But for him to just come out and just, I've never seen the movie, but he doesn't go, some people will go off and be like, that movie was absolute garbage. It was, they will rip movies apart that they've been in, and most likely because they had a bad experience with it or whatever. But
that's actually something similar to happened. I won't go into the spiel on this, but one of the old Toho films around the time in 1967, they made a few other non-Godzilla giant monster films, and there was an actor called Russ Tamblyn, and he played in one of my favorite films, and he actually was in it in the 60s and never watched the film himself until the 2000s because he just thought it was a throwaway movie. He's like, I just did my role, got paid, and went home.
I mean, to be honest, if you go back and like, there's a lot of even like bigger, like more famous movies. There's a lot of actors who are like, I didn't like it, didn't enjoy being on it. It's like, you know how much money this movie made? It's like, who cares? Bad movies make a shit ton of money nowadays. It's crazy. Like there are movies that are on on par with like this movie, for example, that make $400 or $500 million. Look at the Transformers movies.
I was about to say they made 5 Transformers films.
But it took us to number 6 for it to be like, all right, wow, Transformers is actually pretty good. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
And it wasn't even part of the whole line. But we'll get to that at some point. And, oh God. Oh, so Lorraine Gary, who plays Ellen, actually came out of retirement to reprise her role as Ellen Brody. She actually retired after Steven Spielberg's film in 1941, back in 1979. So she came out of retirement 8 years later to reprise her role as Ellen Brody. And man,
dang,
she wanted to fight a shark. They're like, we want you to fight the shark. I'm like,
let's
do this.
I was prepared for her to just come out with a knife and go stab the shark in the face.
Just battle it out.
I think I would have liked this movie better if she just Rambo'd the hell out of it.
Oh, it would have been great.
Oh, it would have been hilarious. Oh man.
I don't that scene in the beginning when Sean dies, that was the start of the horrific effects of the shark. I saw that and I went, what the hell was that? It just like the cameraman's just like you just see blood. I'm like, okay, this is great. I love this. This is so cool.
So another fun fact about Michael Caine during this whole thing is he actually won an Oscar the week that he filmed this movie. For a movie called Hannah and Her Sisters. He said he won an Oscar, built a house, and had a great holiday. Not bad for a flop movie. Crazy. Michael Caine.
Right?
What a legend. But yeah, he couldn't accept his Oscar because he was filming this movie. It's wild.
Yeah, they couldn't
imagine
that.
They
didn't have the people to cover him being gone. So.
Roy Scheider was offered a cameo in this film because, of course, he was, and he said Satan himself could not get me to do Jaws Part 4.
There you go. There you
Reportedly, though, if he had accepted the role, the scene where Sean dies would have been replaced with him. He would have been the one to die.
Oh, really?
Which would have set things in motion, which, to be honest, I think would have made a slightly better movie. I think it would have been cool if like Sean didn't die and like was able to like team up with Michael and his mom and, you know, go out a hunt, you know, have like a shark hunt.
Yeah, it would have been more
How much
impactful.
better would have made it.
Not much, but it would have been maybe slightly better, you know, very minuscule,
Just a
you know.
little bit.
Oh man. You know what the tagline for this movie is?
4
This
is way too
time-
many.
This time it's personal.
That's right. This time it's personal. And God, just wait until the tagline for Cruel Jaws.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's even better.
We have to
Please
watch this
don't
on,
say
like,
it.
a
We got to watch
box
this on
TV.
YouTube, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna have to be viewed.
No, it's called Jaws for the Brody Venge.
The Brody Venge, right?
Can I get a shirt that says that?
So the actress that plays Thea, the little girl,
Oh yeah.
she was the voice of Ducky from Land Before Time.
This gets dark.
And this was actually her one of her last movies.
Yep.
When she was actually murdered when she was 10 by her father. He actually killed her and the mother. I think the whole family. It was like it was a bad thing. And Lance Guest, who played Michael in this movie, was actually one of the pallbearers at her funeral, which is really sad.
I have
That's
to
awful.
look up like the story behind this. I need to know that I have that weird sense of mind. Anyone else watch those documentaries? And you
Oh
have to
yeah, the
know.
ones on
You
like
have to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Like,
You
I
mean
don't
like
agree with them,
Reels?
Like I don't.
You mean like the
think these
real
people are
the ones
sick,
that they're
but
on like the Reels channel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I need to know. I have.
Yeah.
Dennis
To know.
Dennis Quaid was actually asked to reprise his role from Jaws 3 and he declined.
I'm too busy making money.
He had such a great experience with Jaws 3D. And Murray Hamilton actually was asked if he wanted to come back and play the mayor for a small part in the beginning, but unfortunately he passed away of cancer shortly before they started filming the movie.
Wait,
So
I
man,
think-
a lot
I
of
think,
sadness, Chad. This is not all going to be sad. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
I
We had
think-
to bring
I
up the
think-
sad stuff.
Van Peebles was the mayor in this one.
This was listed amongst the 100 most enjoyable bad movies ever made in a Razzie, the official Razzie movie guide.
I could get behind that.
This
Who's
is my
Mr.
favorite. Going down the trivia right now. Bruce the Rubber Shark was nominated for a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actor in this movie, thus making him the first animal nominated for one since Jaws 3D's Shrieking Dolphins, Cindy and Sandy. I didn't even know about
give
the
it to the
dolphins.
shark.
That is
Give it
funny
to
as hell,
Bruce.
man.
Wait.
That is funny as hell.
Who's
I
Mr.
remember.
Witherspoon in this movie?
He was the guy introducing or like talking about the sculpture that Carla made. He was the guy announcing it. He was like the
Oh, damn it,
representative.
Melvin.
Oh, was that
You're
that was
weird.
Melvin Van Peebles?
Yeah. And then Jake, the
Was
the
Mario.
Jamaican guy,
Yeah, yeah,
was Mario Van Peebles.
yeah.
We got so many Van Peebles.
Mario. Woohoo.
Yeah. Yeah,
Too
where's
many
Lu- where the hell's
Too many.
Luigi?
Luigi.
So this is the second time that a Academy Award winning actor went from winning an Academy Award to then winning a Razzie for doing a Jaws sequel. Louis Gossett Jr., who played the guy who owned SeaWorld in Jaws 3D, Calvin.
Oh yeah.
He actually won a Oscar for An Officer and a Gentleman in 1982, and then went on to get a Razzie in 1983 for Jaws 3. And so Michael Caine won his Oscar and then won a Razzie in 1988.
Jaws franchise, the destroyer of dreams.
This is the only Jaws movie that doesn't take place during summertime. This takes place around Christmas and New Year's because we had to listen to caroling for 15 minutes in this movie.
15 minutes
Ooh.
was the entire movie. Every time they were talking, they were singing in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
God.
Hey everybody, it's Christmas.
Oh, and did we notice somebody else from the original Jaws movie was in this movie?
Chief Brody had a picture.
No. Actually acting in the movie. I saw his picture.
Go ahead. I don't know.
It was the woman. It was that. Remember the bad guy in 2? His wife, the one who owned the hotel.
Oh yeah.
She was part of the group that when Michael and his family come to like see his mom after Sean dies.
Standing outside for hours.
She's one of the women that talks to Thea when they walk in. I recognize her. I was like, it's that woman again.
Yeah, why? I didn't know why you said that. I'm like, from the last scene. I don't. Yeah, cool.
Oh man,
they became friends.
They're like, oh hey, would you come do this scene for like 2 minutes tops, and we'll buy you like a pack of smokes or something.
$35,000.
It's so good. This was the only movie that wasn't written by Carl Gottlieb. He wrote all 3 Jaws, the first 3 Jaws movies. Yeah.
Did anyone ever ask him why he kept getting worse?
That's probably why he stopped. He saw how well Jaws 3D did.
Carl.
Yeah.
Carl, please just walk away. Put the pen down and step away. You better not write a 4 after that word Jaws, or you are done, sir.
A sad note for director Joseph Sargent. This was his last movie he ever directed.
Well,
his last theatrical film. He went on to do like TV projects and TV movies. But that I was like, oh man, that is sad.
Has anyone ever seen his picture? He looks way too happy. Like it's a forced smile, and that's the picture they took right after they told me he was fired.
So yeah, we have Lorraine Gary's back as Ellen Brody. We had Lance Guest, who played Michael Brody. He has been in he was in The Last Starfighter. Has anyone ever seen The Last Starfighter? One of a really cool movie where it was about a guy who was really good at a video game, and then he gets recruited into like an actual space force to help like defeat an alien invasion.
I think we were looking that up the last time.
Yeah. And he was in Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2 with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
Yes. And he's still acting today. He's still going strong. All right. Does anybody else have any other facts or trivia they want to throw out there before we get to this fantastic plot?
No. I think this is great.
We'll wait for Dan to come back before we start the plot.
I have a test. When I type on my keyboard, can you guys hear that really bad?
Can I hear you tapping on the keyboard?
Like, is it really loud?
Not really. I can hear it, but it's not really loud.
Okay. When I tell you, I literally have my mic propped on my keyboard. I don't have.
Actually, I do have another one. This is actually the lowest rated Jaws movie on IMDb. At a 3.
Cruel Jaws has Cruel Jaws is 3.3.
I don't know how this one got rated worse than Jaws 3D. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's the sharks acting.
Listen, this movie's not good, but it keeps you entertained at least. Jaws 3D was
not
just
in
bad.
The beginning. So I'm gonna say that this had the first 45 minutes of this movie were so boring. There's that first initial like shark attack on Sean, and then it's just caroling and talking for 40 minutes. And I'm like, I'm gonna go nuts unless someone dies. Just someone die. Just go in the water, swim a little. I don't know. Just get attacked because I'm gonna go nuts. Thank God the pizza was done at that time.
Wait.
I was getting a little...
Wait. I just found out something insane that I didn't realize. In the scene where where we're talking about how there was another person who reprised her role in this movie from the original Jaws, the woman who played Mrs. Kittner from Jaws was in that scene too.
Yes, we were talking about that.
I was like, I don't remember.
I didn't even recognize her. I just went at IMDb, look at the cast.
That's exactly what I did. I was like,
I'm like,
she
wait,
wasn't in it, was she?
Wait, what's her name?
Lee Fierro. Wait, no fridge. No. I mean, he's got a fridge. It's just not behind him.
Yeah,
I mean, it
well,
kind
that's
of is
I-
behind him. It's just in a different room behind him.
Over there.
It's like over
Oh
there.
man.
Why did
Oh
I have
man,
to
that
think
was
about-
fantastic. Dan, do you have any other? Do you have anything you want to say before we get started on this plot?
get on with it.
no,
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's fine. I'm ready. My body's ready.
Grab it and drink.
Oh my god! All
You're
right,
good.
here we go. Jaws: The Revenge. It opens. It opens as any Jaws movie opens. Okay, underwater first-person shark shot with
I said the same thing when it started. I was like, it's like every other Jaws movie.
with
4 out of
the
4.
that slow, ominous music. The Jaws theme is slightly playing and it's swimming, but it always hitting the surface and coming down. And you're like, oh my God, what's going on? And then another thing, like I feel like they got even lazier with the font in this movie. Oh my God.
Like
You
this Comic Sans.
Why can't you just, why couldn't you just take the font from the original, which is the best?
Watch YouTube on
Come on, your daughter wants to be on the show. Come on. She wants to talk about Jaws: The Revenge too.
Sorry.
Kids make shows better. Don't let anybody tell
She
you
just
different.
burst through the door. She's like, hey.
I want to be here too. I want to talk about sharks.
Even though it's bedtime.
Oh, so we see the shark, the first person shark shot, the really bad font of the title of the movie, and then everybody's in it. You know, your normal beginning of an 80s and 90s movie where it shows the credits in the beginning and everything's really slow. And then it cuts to the kitchen where Sean is being yelled at. You can't see them yet, but he's being yelled at for doing something. And then it shows him stealing carrots out of the salad that his mom's making. And she's making a fish. Well, actually, no, that's the first thing you see the fish. The fish's face that's on the stove being cooked. And the camera, and you just hear them in the background arguing.
No, she's she's flipping the fish. She'd be flipping it.
Well, I mean, the fish is there on a pan getting fried.
No, she's flipping it. That's important.
And during all this, Michael calls and Ellen's talking to Michael, and then he's talking to Thea, who is the daughter. She is adorable. Her voice just makes me want to cry because she's just so cute. And I could just hear her in Land Before Time. Like when you hear her voice, you're like, oh my God, it's
Yes.
so good.
It makes you so sad.
Yes, it does.
Well, it was a lot less sad until you told me what happened. And now
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I knew.
I had to bring that darkness into this. We get to, but then it cuts to Ellen, Sean, and Sean's fiance, which I can't remember what her name was. Was it Lindsay or something? I don't remember. I don't think it's that important because this is the only scene you see her in. I actually see her at the funeral too, but yeah. So they're walking down. It is snowing because it is Christmas time, and they're talking about getting a tree. And Sean is a deputy for Amity Police, which is the town
is
that.
she Louisa?
No, Louisa was Jake's wife.
Hey, really?
Yeah. Tiffany. Her name was Tiffany.
Yeah, because later on they say happy birthday, Louisa.
At that party.
Oh, yeah.
So he is Sean is a deputy for the Amity Police, which is the town that Jaws 1 and 2 is based in. He's got to go check in with Polly. Polly's still alive, and she looks younger than she did in the first one. She's just getting younger and younger. But yeah, Polly's back, everybody. She was in Jaws 1 for about 5 seconds, and she was like an 80-year-old woman in that movie. And in Jaws 2, you can hear her voice, but you don't see her. Jaws 3 literally might as well just not be part of this whole thing. And then you see her, I think, more in this one than you see her in any of them. But yeah, she is the secretary for the police department. Sean's like, am I good to go? Like nothing's going on. He's about to leave. She gets a phone call from someone that there is debris stuck on a buoy, which is the buoy that flashes that pretty much shows ships like where to go, or like that they're too close to land type deal. She's trying to help him out, trying to get him out of there. But unfortunately, the Coast Guard can't move it. So Sean's like, okay, I'll go do this real quick and get to go home. So he goes out on the boat. Well, there's caroling going on, and then he walks by a guy named Harry, because why not? This is a Jaws movie. There's got to be some guy named Harry. If this is the same Harry, this guy de-aged too, because this guy looks like he's about 50, where Harry in the first one was 95.
He was on his way out.
They couldn't figure out names, all right? There's no other names in Polly, Harry, Jeepers, creepers. So there's caroling going on. Harry is leading the carolers. They're singing Christmas music. And Sean goes on the boat. And where this buoy is not very far off from where everything is going on. It really wasn't that loud other than the carolers. So what happens next confused me. So he goes out. There's a log like wedged underneath the buoy. And so Sean is just doing, what anyone would do. He gets a stick. He's trying to push the log, trying to get the log to move out. And as he's doing that, the shark comes up and it bites his arm off. And he is bleeding profusely. He's just realized, like, it takes him a little bit to realize, his arm's not there anymore. And he's screaming for help. He's literally screaming for help as carolers are, this is how it works. All right. Somebody is in severe pain. They are dying, but there are people singing, or there's, it's a carnival or something, Yeah. Things are happening where no one can hear him screaming bloody murder for help. And as he's doing that, the shark then comes up, and you get a really nauseating scene where it's just like, you don't see the shark, but it's like, just everything is just, oh my God, shaking.
I told you, the cameraman was just, they were like, how fast can you shake this camera? And he's like,
oh my God. It was
very dramatic.
Perfect.
Very dramatic. I was like so confused. But yeah, the shark gets him, puts a huge hole in the side of the boat. So the boat starts to sink, because we can't have, just like in Jaws 3, we can't have somebody die without the boat not dying too, not the boat sinking.
Obviously.
But, that the shark takes a giant chunk out of the side of this boat, and the boat starts to sink. But then Sean pops up on top of the log that was wedged underneath the buoy, and he's trying to scream for help, and he's, but no one can hear him. And then he flips over the log and he disappears.
Why didn't he drive the boat back to shore?
It was probably a state of shock.
But he could scream for help.
That's true.
He also is pretty stupid, because his arm got bitten off, and then he stays right at the edge of the boat. Like,
he's like screaming off the side of the boat.
He's like, help, as he's like hanging over into the water. Like, you are stupid.
And I use this as an example, and of course everybody does something different in different situations, and it is a movie. We have a content creator we watched who had a very life-threatening situation happen to him. He literally almost died, but had the state of mind to literally, with LEO training, had the state of mind to keep himself alive in a very similar, quote-unquote, life-threatening situation, and managed to live. So I think he could have, depending rationally, gotten, like, he had one arm to manipulate the boat. But it was for a movie, so that I think I'm just overthinking it. So just let the man die.
Just let him die.
Dead.
Yeah, he
did. So the next scene is Ellen having to identify Sean's body. And it's it's one of those scenes. They don't show the body, but they show the reaction of the cop handing, he's handing over Sean's, I believe it's probably his police uniform, which in reality has been pretty destroyed.
Looks like that is belt and a revolver. I don't know if this is.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple. Cops don't just have one uniform; they have multiple. So they probably gave her one of his, dot. Shark.
He wasn't kept in a tote though.
Not like Chrissy.
Well,
Who
that
was
was-
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, odd cinematography, foam shark aside, this is probably, I would think, and if I could recall correctly, one of the most brutal deaths up with Chrissy from the first film. What do you
Oh,
say?
yeah.
Out of the
This
entire
one-
franchise?
Well, this one, yeah, because a lot of times, pretty much most deaths in Jaws are very quick.
Yeah.
Like it's like the person gets attacked and then they get dragged under and it's over. Where like he gets his arm ripped off and he's like bleeding, like armless, and then he gets attacked again, dragged under, then he pops back up again, bleeding, and just like, yeah, this one was probably the most brutal death in this franchise.
It's up with Chrissy's for sure.
Yeah.
She gets a pretty bad too.
Oh yeah.
Who
So
was the when she's leaving, Ellen? She walks out and there's a lady crying.
oh, it was
on
Polly.
the-
We just
Okay.
talked about her.
Okay.
Dan, we were talking about how Polly and Harry they de-aged in this movie. Did you notice that?
No, I had no idea. I wasn't paying attention.
So-
I just seen this Polly. I was like,
Yeah, I can guess it's the same character, but she looks way younger than the original one from Jaws.
and I think
yeah.
she was a much heavier set woman in the original Jaws too, wasn't she?
I mean, it was a completely different
Mhm.
actress, but I just found it funny. It was like we got really lazy with casting. We didn't want to make this consistent, but there's a lot of things that they changed in this movie that from Jaws 3.
Yeah, of course.
Well, the lady that played Polly in this one only played Polly ever. That was her only movie.
In this, the one who played Polly in this one.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think they broke her.
Wild.
But she was in like what, 2 scenes?
Never again.
Too
Yeah, but
much
she- but-
shark.
But we were talking about how
Done.
Polly, the character, was in this movie longer than she was in any of the Jaws movies. She was in the scene where she's on the phone
Yeah,
with people
yeah,
trying to
that's
call
true.
Sean back, and then the cry, and then of course her crying, and then Polly's at the house. The
Yeah,
very next
yeah.
scene, when Michael shows up. So the next scene is Michael and his family show up for the funeral, and they come in, and Polly's there. Her name is Mrs. Taft. That's the woman we were talking about who was in Jaws 1 as well. The one whose husband was the dick from Jaws 2.
Yeah, that was
And yeah, and then I guess Mrs. Kittner was there too. Didn't realize that one.
Apparently.
Yeah, Michael asked where his mom is. His mom is out standing on the shore, because she's in shock. She's not having a good time.
No.
So he goes out there and he talks to her, and she just is like, "The shark's after us. He can smell he smells Brody blood, and he wants them all dead." The shark's
You
got
can
a
read my
contract out.
mind.
Yeah, it's coming for revenge. Hence the title of this movie.
Revenge for what?
I guess
It's been a different shark.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
but maybe
say,
they were all
I'll-
related. Maybe it was all a family.
He killed my brother.
How
That
dare
truly
you?
confused me. I feel like I said that while we were watching. I said, "Why is this one out for revenge?" All the other sharks died. Like this one has no revenge. It's like, oh, look at you. You
Maybe
killed
this is the mom.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
Yeah.
I figured it out. This is my oddball connection I've had for almost all these movies. All right, hear me out.
All right, I'm hearing you.
This is the dead little shark from Jaws 3 when they flushed him down the toilet after he died. And he's like, "I wasn't dead. I'm back for revenge. Damn you, Brodies."
Oh my
So
god!
then he
If
goes
only,
to the Bahamas.
if only we
He's
got
like,
so
All
lucky.
the way to the Bahamas.
I'm going on vacation.
If only we got so lucky. Oh man! And then the next scene is Michael and Carla. Carla is his wife. So he's not with the woman he was with in Jaws 3. Can't even remember her
Nope.
name.
She did.
Catherine.
Catherine, I think.
Kathy. Yeah,
Kathy.
Catherine.
Because it was Kelly, too. It was Kathy and Kelly in that movie.
So, yeah, Carla is Michael's wife. She is an artist. She does cool sculptures, which we'll see later. But they're talking about things, and then Michael just starts running down the beach. Just sprints, and she's just like, "I don't live here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What thanks for leaving me."
Where are you going?
And then it shows, and then of course it shows the log that Sean was attached to, floats up to shore. That's what they showed. at the end of
It looks
that
like there's
scene.
it looks like there's shark teeth in it too. If you look at it real close.
Probably if you had a keen eye to see it. I didn't. I just was like, oh, that's the log he was on.
I could be wrong, but it just looked like they're like two little
It
like
could be,
boop, boop.
yeah.
It's, or there were white Doritos. I have no idea.
Doritos.
So then we go to yeah.
White
So then
cheddar
we-
Doritos.
So then we go to Sean's funeral. Sad. It shows Ellen. I don't know if she's trying to be sad or she's trying not to laugh. Like she was just
she
that
definitely
was just the
was
sign
laughing.
of her losing her mind. Right? She was just
Yeah, I think.
she was tweaking. But then it shows flashbacks of the table scene from Jaws, where Chief Brody and Sean they're doing the imitation thing where he does something and Sean imitates what he's doing. Thought that was cute because Ellen sees this. Now we talk. Nemesis said something about the ones we'll see later, but we'll get to that. We'll get to those flashbacks later. But yeah, it was. I thought that flashback fit for this scene because it was Sean and Martin who are now in this. In this movie are both dead. So they're walking home. They went to a shop and Ellen got Thea a lollipop. They're walking home, and that's when Michael suggests that Ellen come down to the Bahamas, which is where they live, and stay down there for a while. And at first she was like, I can't leave. Even though there's nothing, like, what does she do? She even work? Like, Ellen, you working? Like, what's going on here? Like, you're probably retired, and you have no one here anymore. So just do it. And it's the Bahamas. Like, somebody's offering you to go live in the Bahamas. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
She eventually says yes because her granddaughter convinces her. They're going across the ferry to pretty much get ready to go, and they're playing, the Carla and Mike are playing with Thea, and then Ellen just she starts breaking down. But she sounds like a seal when she's doing it. She's like I was like, lady, you're right. Like, I understand you're upset, but that's some really bad crying right there. I didn't even see tears on her face. Like, man, she is just here for the paycheck. Oh wait, and then after this is when the log shows up. It wasn't after Michael was running. It was after this scene. So then it shows them flying to the Bahamas, and they are hanging out with the one, the only Michael Caine, aka Hoagie. Which, what a great name, huh?
I love
The
it.
flying sandwich.
Yay.
Yes, sir. So yeah, they're talking to
Another
Hoagie.
sandwich
Hoagie lets Thea sit on his lap, and she gets to pretend like she's flying the plane, and they do some things that is very unsafe. It's not a joke. You probably shouldn't do that with a plane. They go, oh, we want to see, or we could make the trees look bigger, and then we make the trees look smaller. Like, this is not safe. Can we stop? All right. I shit myself 3 times already. Then it shows the taxi. They're in a taxi driving to Michael and Carla's house, and the taxi driver's singing Christmas songs. I thought it was on the radio at first, but no, it's the actual taxi driver
He's holding the
yes.
thing, like the people aren't sitting
Oh
right
my
freaking
God.
next to him.
Carla, it's
Like,
so
dude,
funny
put
because
this shit
Carla looks
down.
like she wants to fight the guy. She's like, can we stop this? This is ridiculous.
We had to listen to this from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Everyone's singing.
Yeah.
There's conversations over here, and they're still singing, but they're all alone. It's like, where are these fucking people?
Just a reminder, it is Christmas still. Just a
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's
just
like,
they just want you to know that.
Yep.
drove me nuts. That was my least favorite part of this movie. Was every scene had singing somewhere, and I'm like, where are these people? So they can go choke them out. Maybe throw them in the water.
Oh man. They're driving in the taxi. Thea sees a couple kids swinging on a cool rope swing into the water, which I would have been excited too. I want to do that. Let's go.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Especially in that crystal clear water of the Bahamas. Man, I want to go to the Bahamas.
Road trip.
She gets excited. They bark.
Boat
Thea runs
trip.
to go do it, and she's swinging on the rope, and she's like, "Grandma, look at me! Grandma, look at me!" And Ellen just loses her mind. She starts screaming at her to come in, which very reminiscent to when she screams at Michael to come in when he's just playing on the boat. It's not even on the water in Jaws. So I thought that was a cool little throwback that maybe some people didn't notice. But yeah, she goes crazy, but then Carla goes crazy, and boy, she's like, you listen to me, girl, and like rips her off the rope and drags her back in. Then it cuts to which if for me, I already knew it was a dream, but I feel most people probably figured it out because Ellen definitely wouldn't have, like, she talks about how she didn't want no more of her family is going into the water. That was something she said earlier. And then it shows a scene of her swimming.
Yeah,
so
that was weird.
Yeah.
You pick it up as it's a dream.
Yeah, of course.
I swear that when I watched this as a kid, I swear in this scene, it actually showed the shark. Like it showed her swimming, and then it showed like a sky view of the shark's silhouette swimming towards her. And then she sees it, swims away, and then gets attacked in the dream and then wakes up. I swear that's how that scene went. But in the one we watched, it was just her swimming, and then she starts swimming back, and then you hear the music in the first person shot, and then she gets attacked.
So we watched the only version. So
I know, but no, I'm saying that's what I remember.
It's
Well,
Parker's version from his head.
when you
No.
grow up,
so you were having a dream about a dream. This is
Inception.
now, but check this out though. Check this out. You said you watched this growing up on VHS, something like that.
Yeah, VHS, probably early DVD time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So here's something that happened. One of my favorite movies is Jurassic Park 2: Lost World.
I
There
respect you
are
very
there
much.
are scenes. Thank you. I try. There are scenes in that film that have never been shown ever on DVD in any other format, that were shown in TV renditions of that movie that were never shown in any other version. You can almost not find them anywhere. So I was wondering if this scene actually does exist and it was shown on like an old VHS copy, a TV version.
I'm
This
going
is
to YouTube
legitimately a thing. Legitimately a thing. I
I'm gonna
promise you.
I'm gonna look it up because I swear that's how I remember it. Chris is saying Mandela effect. It could be. It's just like the Berenstein Bears,
could.
you know? Berenstain,
Yeah.
get out of here with this shit.
Yeah.
Shit stain.
I-
Bears.
But yeah,
What?
when we get to Jurassic Park, hey, when we get to Jurassic Park in review, you guys are on Jurassic Park in review, so you just mark that on your calendar when we get to that point. We'll dive deep into those things because I'm interested because I think I know what you're talking about, but it's been a while. I mean, I recently saw that movie, but of course, it's not a scene that's in the actual cut of the film. So Mike brings Ellen into the barn, shows her what Carla does. Carla she's an artist. She makes really, intricate sculptures. It's actually really cool. Kind of the thing is that Ellen stood there like it looked like she was like it looked like a shark. Like I think that's what.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why she was like. So it was like
Yeah,
frozen.
'cause it was supposed to go on the beach.
Shark
Yes.
on land.
Yeah, so she like sits there all freaked out, and then it's the dream with Ellen swimming, and then she gets attacked by the shark, but you don't really see the shark. You just see it's kind of like when Sean gets attacked. It's like a lot of fast motions. You see like a glimpse of a shark, and then like blood, and then she wakes up from the dream. Then the next scene is we meet Jake, played by Mario Van Peebles.
Okay, the first time I heard his voice,
Or Peebles, sorry.
I literally thought I was in like.
Is he actually Jamaican? That is what I want to know. He's from Mexico. I don't think he was. His Jamaican accent was very forced, in my opinion.
All I know is the first time we heard it when he's talking to the little radio thing. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
That was so high pitched. His voice was so high pitched.
What else did he do? Did he do anything?
Oh, he's been around.
He's been around, kid. He's been a square kid.
Yeah, he's done a. Let me see if I can see what he's done.
Right, I think I'm looking up the.
I know he's
scene
directed.
about
I know he's
her dream.
directed a bunch of movies. He's directed a lot of TV shows. He did a bunch of episodes of Empire. Hand of God, which is a Amazon show. Chicago Pete. He directs a lot of TV. Law and Order. NCIS. Boss. Yeah, he's I think that's what he's well known for. I don't know if his acting is what he's
10,000 black
Yeah.
men named George. What the heck?
I think
Rudy
you're
actually
crazy.
has a fact about a completely different film franchise. It's a thing for Army of Darkness 2. The things on the TV version were from the unedited original cut, but not the theatrical version. It's weird how they do that. I used to also love when they would edit foul language too. Fun fact about that, which I thought was weird as hell. This is not about Jaws, ladies and gentlemen, so just hold on to your butts here. I was watching Deadpool 2 on FX. All right, so I was
Okay.
watching Deadpool 2. So you know Deadpool and Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
These are full of really bad language, a lot of violence,
Yeah.
weird nudity. They didn't edit any swears or anything out of the FX version of Deadpool 2. Like they kept all the all
Really?
the fucks in there and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But then the very next movie played, I don't even remember what it was, but they said shit and they edited it. So you didn't
That's
edit a
interesting.
single thing in Deadpool 2 that played
Oh.
beforehand, but then they played the next movie and the person said shit and you could tell that it was edited to a different word.
Deadpool has Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds is a demigod. So I think,
True. I believe it.
I mean, Ryan.
I just wanted to throw it out there since we were talking about this stuff.
I also think, Brad, that I think that you dreamed about her dream. Some Inception. I've been looking it up when you guys were talking, and there's no other scene. I've looked
maybe
up
it is.
everything
Maybe
I
it is the
can look up.
Mandela effect. It's crazy.
I
I don't like it.
I don't know what
I don't
else
like it all.
to type in. Like,
To be honest, I think my scene is better anyways. So
Well, maybe that's a sign that you should. Maybe you should direct a movie or something. I don't know.
You
Do
could
it.
probably do better
Do
than
it.
they did.
I would love to. Somebody wants to give me the opportunity. Let's do this.
Do you want to do one about a shark?
No.
Rewrite Jaws 4.
You need
No.
to do a
Oh,
sequel. You need. Go ahead. I'll say you need to do the sequel to Bad CGI Shark. You need to do.
Sharknado 7.
Please.
What the hell was I? So yeah, you meet Jake, and there's a lot of arguing. Jake just giving him a lot of shit about how slow he is. So they are scientists and they are studying conch snails. So they're going to the bottom and they're tagging them with. The funny thing is the tag was bigger than the shell itself, which was crazy. But he's giving him shit about how slow he is. And yeah, a lot of arguing. Even when they get to when Michael gets back up to the surface, a lot of arguing. They're just arguing about things, and then he says something that is just too much, and then he apologizes.
I also think that was all. That whole argument scene, I think it was all just like them joking in the end because after he's like, "Oh, I've missed you, man." Like, I think it was all just like
could be.
it was like,
I believe it.
like, screwing with each other because they're friends or whatever.
I believe it.
Literally.
So yeah, so Michael changed his profession from Jaws 3 to this. He was more of like an engineer in Jaws 3 because he was the guy who like helped create all the attractions at SeaWorld. And now he is a scientist. But I think it's so there. I mean, there is there is something that could connect these two films. Is that he says he's going for his doctorate. So like he could have just given up what he was doing before to go after this profession or to get into studying whatever he's studying.
Marine biology, baby.
Yeah, let's just pretend he's not. Let's just pretend Jaws 3D didn't happen. So the next scene is them opening Christmas presents because it is Christmas time.
Reminder.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Yep.
She
Gotta
forgot.
throw it down. You gotta shove it down your throat that it's Christmas. And boy is Carla just she is just all about it. She doesn't care if her mother-in-law's in the room. She is talking about having sex with Mike all the time. Like she is always ready, and bravo to Carla. She's keeping it going, you know?
No, she is.
She's a good woman. And of course the daughter has to ask Ellen about something, like because Ellen was talking about how Michael was trouble when he was a kid and getting into trouble, and then Thea asks her if she ever had to spank Sean, and it kind of like everybody gets quiet because of course Thea is a 5-year-old girl, so she has no filter. Back when they first showed up in Amity, she's like, "Oh, my Uncle Sean's dead. Do you think he'll ever come back?" And it's like,
he's dead,
it's tough. Having having a child that young. You remember those days where your kid will just say whatever. It could be just like not in good timing. You're like, "Yep,
still going on.
yep." And then so Hoagie takes Ellen out, and Ellen is actually helping Thea make a cool sandcastle. And Hoagie comes up with his little dinghy chat. Get your mind out of the gutter. I know we were talking about sex, but
with your
mind and they get to talking, and Michael is not far out with Jake and the other guys that were on the boat. I can't remember their names. I don't even think they said their names. And Michael's spying on him because he sees that his mom's hanging out with Hoagie. And Hoagie,
what you doing with that sandwich?
Yeah. Hey, do you want? And she's like, "Hey, can you take that plane out again? Can we can we go for a ride?" And
he's like, "Ma'am, it's during the day. We're out in the open."
Yeah, it's like, "All right, sure, let's do this." So he flies her around, and we get the really bad shots inside the plane where you can see the CG was, or it wasn't CG, but it was green screen on the windows, but it's like really bad. It's like an old 80s or 90s television show where they're in the car and they gotta they're not actually driving or doing anything, but they gotta make it look like it. Thought it was pretty funny. So they go to the other side of the island where there's a festival called the Junkaroo.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's what it was called.
I believe it. I'm just...
Oh my God, we got a raid incoming. Max the Ghost dropping that hot raid. Welcome in, everybody, from Max's stream. What's going on, Max? Addison, hello. Eggs are good for you. I like it. Uncle Jasmine, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. If you are new to the channel, I am the Parker XP, and this is the Parker Chronicles podcast, where we review, dissect, and rank your favorite film franchises. And we're doing Jaws: The Revenge today. So hold on to your butts.
Doesn't say no.
Nicole McKenzie, thank you for the follow. Uncle Jasmine, thank you for the follow. All right.
I guess that Junkaroo's bringing people in from all over, huh?
Yeah, we got to start our own Junkaroo, everybody.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness. So they go to this party. It's called it's called the Junkaroo. It kind of looked like Mardi Gras for the Bahamas, just a festival. Everybody's having a good time, throwing stuff around. And Jake is now under the water. He's in a craft. He's doing the conch tagging now. And that's when he encounters the shark. But the shark doesn't attack him. The shark just swims alongside him, which then puts into the mind when Jake states that he sees the shark, but it doesn't do anything. Michael starts getting a little bit he's like, maybe my mom was right, but we can't tell my mom. But then the shark attacks the side of the boat, and that's when Michael's like, they're after the Brodys. They can smell that Brody blood.
That Brody musk.
Smell the Brody blood.
I like they're just standing there while he's like chewing on the boat. Like, oh no.
Hey, well, he's like stone face. He's like, what is? It's a shark.
Maybe Mom was right.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe more, yeah, right.
I'd be pretty stone faced too. There's a shark in the Bahamas.
I mean, there are sharks. Yeah.
Yeah.
A great white biting my shit or my boat in the Bahamas.
The blood. So yeah,
just-
the shark bites the side of the boat and then it disappears, and then Jake comes up and he's like, "Oh my god, we've never seen a great white's never been in the Bahamas. This is an opportunity. We need to take this opportunity and run with it. We need to study the shark. Screw the damn snails. We need to study the shark." And Michael's like, "This is not a good idea."
But the grant.
The grant. You know, my name goes on this too. All right, there was a lot of that going on. But the funny thing is that when everything happened with the shark, Ellen just like sensed it. She was like,
I know she can sense that.
I know. I'm getting visions.
She
Oh
can
my
hear
God.
that shark roar.
yeah, and then and Hoagie's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And she's like, "I'm fine." And then she's like dancing and she's trying to like ignore everything, and Hoagie's like bringing it all up. You need to get over it. Get over it. Stop it. Just cut it out. And she's like, "I'm dancing. Just dance."
You're gonna ruin the Junkaroo.
The Junkaroo is ruined. Oh man.
Uh-oh. Max.
You've never seen any of the Jaws movies? Well, you're in for a treat because this is Jaws 4. We're 4 movies deep, baby.
We're
Just
we're
keeps
dredging the
this
bottom.
This one's the best one.
This is when you're cleaning your pool after when winter's over. Oh wait, talking to people who live, where there is winter, gotta uncover your pool.
There's Jaws 4.
Yeah. Oh shit.
What's he doing down here?
Let me reach into that manure pile. There it is. Mike is freaked out, but tells Jake to keep quiet. Don't tell my mom, because then she'll pretty much justify she was right about everything.
She'll ground me and put me in my room. We can't do
Yeah.
this. We'll have fun.
And listen, Max, it's a roller coaster ride if you watch all 4 of these movies. But I highly
watch the original.
Yeah, watch the original. It's fantastic. Even
Is it a roller coaster of trash? Because
I mean, Jaws is. I mean, and Jaws 2, I would say is enjoyable.
The first
This movie was enjoyable too. It was just really bad at the same time.
The first one was great. The second one was okay, and these two are a dumpster fire, but they're just enjoyable dumpster fires.
But
dumpster fire that kept me warm during the winter.
But we got to take them. We got to take these dumpster fires and we got to make people enjoy the show. Okay, we got to make the dumpster fires into a beautiful garden. With our great review of them.
Nemesis.
Yes.
I was like, was it a dumpster fire where it kept you warm, but like the noxious fumes would just like knock you out every once in a while, and you miss days at a time? Like,
oh man. All right, so we are now. So we are now at a casino, as there's a New Year's Eve party going on there. But then you figure out it's also Jake's wife's birthday. Yeah, Louisa, who she works at the casino. That's why I guess they did the party there. I don't know. And then you see Hoagie at the craps tables. He's a legend. He's just racking up the debt. He's like, Ellen comes over. He's telling her to blow on the dice. He rolls at snake eyes. It's not good to do that. She's like, it's probably not that good. Or I take it that's not very good. And what does he say?
does he say like depends on your perspective or something?
Yeah.
Something like that?
It depends on the way you see it. I think that's what he said. So Hoagie takes Ellen down to ask her to dance. And Max, thank you so much, man. Thanks for the lurk. Go get some food, man. Appreciate you.
Eat all the good food.
Yes. So Hoagie takes Ellen to the dance floor. They're dancing, and then Michael gets up. And I don't know if it's like, it kind of looked like his wife was jealous. Like, you're gonna go dance with your mom, but not me. Like
Hoagie says something like,
my mom
dancing with your mom.
Oh no, he comes. Michael walks up and he's like, "Can I cut in?" And yeah, Hoagie said something. It was more like a joke. Hoagie's all about the jokes. All right, he's not serious about much, other than spending a lot of time with Ellen.
He's serious about that $1.5 million.
Yeah. So So Ellen is like pretty much like, yeah, after the talk with Hoagie, she's wising up. She's like, I can't live in the past. I can't hold on to these things. I need to kind of move on. But Michael, knowing the shark is there, is trying to pretend like he's agreeing with her, but he is scared shitless. He doesn't want to tell his mom because it would destroy her, which then it just becomes worse. It then shows the next scene as Jake, pretty much trying to convince Michael we need to study the shark. This is going to be a big thing. Like I feel, especially a great white in the Bahamas, it's not a thing. In the beginning, they said great whites don't like warm water, which isn't true. They do live in Australia and South Africa, which are very warm places. So the fact of them saying great whites don't like warm water is bullshit. But yeah, Jake wants to study the shark because of the, where it is. Great whites don't go to the Bahamas. Great whites are not known to be spotted in the Bahamas.
You know nothing.
I don't know anything. So he just sees it as a great opportunity to advance his studies and try to do something more than just study snails. But the grant.
Oh,
It says to study the snails in the grant, damn it. My
Got it,
name's
man.
on that too. That
Exactly.
has to be said 45 times.
Oh.
And then Mike and Carla are having a big fight about Mike not taking the garbage out.
What was that about?
Like she was like pissed. Like I thought it was like I want a divorce after like that whole argument, but then it like turns completely around because like
yeah, but I feel like that was one of those like super cheesy scenes. Like, oh, I love when fighting turns into something more.
Yeah, right.
Which is exactly what
It
happened.
was so forced. It was
I
like,
really want to make.
take out the garbage.
I've always wanted to make love with a mad welder. Is a great line.
I said that back to you when I was watching. I was like, I hate this. I hate everything.
That sums up
man.
that scene perfectly.
So
I
good.
literally said it. I said it like I was like, I never wanted to make love to a mad. Well, I was like, why are they talking like that? Just freaking go screw in the corner and let's get to the next scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have cut all of that out.
No, they gotta
Close
they
the
gotta
door.
they gotta drill it in
Close
your
the
head that
door.
Carla is horny all the time.
I mean,
All
she
right.
already rubber banded her underwear at Michael.
Yeah, earlier.
Boy, and then
Guess we'll get you to pay attention.
and then she mentioned something at the present opening too. But whatever.
Yeah, of course.
We'll move on.
What's so annoying is she's rubber banding her underwear everywhere, but she's so worried about a door closing. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh man.
just get it done and let's go get eaten by a shark.
So Jake is attached to like this weird rope contraption that they made to kind of have him hang over the side of the boat because he came up with a tracker that he's going to stab into the shark. Now, in reality, when people are tagging great whites or most sharks, it is tagged right below the dorsal fin. It's just a good place for it. Stabbing it right beside the gills, not ideal. It's not safe for the shark and probably wouldn't work out so well. Sharks have very tough skin, so you got to find that perfect spot.
Gotta give it a face piercing.
So he gets the tag on the shark and the shark disappears, I believe, right?
Yeah,
That was it. Yeah, he tags him and then it just disappears.
Oh wait, does it disappear or does it sink? Because a lot of
Oh, that's right, because it like hovers.
Yeah.
It like
Yeah,
hovers
and then
over the water and then slowly sinks. Like the tail is like just like 4 feet above the water, just sinking.
Yeah.
Like, this is
It's rigid.
wow.
Yeah, it's like,
Wow.
what is happening?
So Hoagie's at a bar with Ellen and they're talking and about Hoagie wants to go somewhere, go down to like South America and he wants Ellen to go with him. And then he has a really weird way of saying, I really want to kiss you. I'm having a really hard time not kissing you right now, Ellen. It's like,
I really have the urge to kiss
oh,
you.
I really have the urge to
Ellen.
kiss you right now. Oh my God.
He lays
Okay.
that British on
Right.
awful thick in
I
this
agree.
scene.
Great line. And she's all like, I don't know. And
No, she says, "Are you blind or something?" She's like, "Are you blind?" She's like, "No,
it
I'm
all
a
it was all weird.
I hate it.
I'm
And
really tired of having a one-sided conversation.
and I just thought it was funny. And then like the next scene, it was Ellen talking to Carla as she's cleaning the sculpture, and she's like a little kid. She's like a little teenage girl. She's like, oh my God, he kissed me, and we were gonna do that. I was like, you were married for like 30 years. Like, I guess this is a new thing for you, but hey.
I mean, her husband died, her son died. I guess everything.
She's having a good time. All right. She's got to try to figure shit out. I get it. It, Ellen. It's okay. Mike's bothering Jake about Hoagie while they're trying to track the shark. He's literally like asking him about him as they're like trying to track this 25-foot shark. Another spot where I was just like, why do we don't need this. We don't need this conversation. Like, there's literally nothing about, like, Hoagie is a 50-plus-year-old man who is just trying to enjoy his life, and Michael's like, I don't know about this. Like, bro, you wanted your mom to chill out from everything that's happening, and now you're worrying about her hooking up with this dude. It's not like she's hooking up with a 25-year-old guy who's like a beach bum, all right?
Yeah, right.
Relax, Michael. Let your mom be happy. Mike has nightmares now about the shark. So, you know, pretty much everything that was going on with Ellen transferred over to Mike. A recreation of the table scene from the original Jaws is a new one is done between Michael and Thea, which I thought was a cool addition to the movie. Mm-hmm. It wasn't too long, which was good. And then Ellen is kind of in the same spot as she was. She walks in and watches it as she did in the original, which I thought was a cool throwback. And just every scene with this girl is just great and sad at the same time. Man. Ellen and Michael talk, and Michael is just trying to be casual about not telling her anything that's going on. Like about that he knows that there's a shark here now. She's finally being comfortable and getting over things. Well, not really getting over things. She pretty much states like, I will never forget it. I will never forget anything that happens, about your brother, your dad, and stuff like that. But Michael's like, I gotta work. Please leave. Yes. I'm gonna tell you need to go. Jake and Mike are back at the snail hunting. And it's now Michael's down there with the craft. He gets out of the craft. He's doing his thing, and the tracker starts going off. So the tracker senses the shark's heartbeat. So when the shark's within a certain distance, the heartbeat would go off. And Jake is like, "Shit, the shark is here, and he's close." And Michael's like, "I gotta get out." He gets into the craft. He starts to go, and the shark just T-bones him. And it took a while for him to get out of that craft, but it's what we see next, which just fantastic. Michael escapes to a sunken ship, starts swimming down a hallway, and the shark, you see a shot of it's an above shot of a door, and the shark swims over it. And the funniest thing is, if you watch it, the tail doesn't move at all. It doesn't, like, there's no motion at all.
It's just this.
It's just stiff, dude, the whole time.
Devil's illest. What's going on? Welcome in. So yeah, you see that shot, which I thought was funny because of the tail. But then the shark goes into the hallway. It starts swimming down the hallway. I was like, what the frick is happening right now? What?
That's how that works.
Oh my God, what is going on? I thought that was funny. And Michael gets stuck at the end of the hallway, and he's trying to get the door open. And right as he turns around, he sees a shark coming. Right as the shark's about to hit him, he gets the door open, shuts it, and gets knocked down. And so he's then he's taking off his tank, and in the middle of trying to do something, and the shark just blasts through the side of the boat, like through all the wood. And that's when Michael, he rigs the tank so he knocks off a piece and it shoots him straight up. Like it's all the air from the tank is just pulling him up, which in reality is not good. You don't want to do that. You're
probably get the bends from that.
Yeah, you're getting bad. You might die, actually.
Yeah.
Queen, welcome in. Hello. Doing wonderful. Just enjoying.
I mean, I guess it, like, realistically, if something was after me like that, I'm gonna try that because it's either that or die. So if I'm gonna die from, letting the tank off and going up really fast, at least I tried. I'd rather that than get eaten by this stiff ass shark. I don't know what's wrong with it, but
that's so funny. Queen, we are enjoying ourselves talking about Jaws: The Revenge, aka Jaws 4. So I hope you're prepared. We're already about halfway through because this movie is not long at all. So I hope you enjoy yourself while you're here.
I mean, damn it, I wish it was longer.
Yeah, right. So I said there was many reused shots. There are many reused shots in this movie. Did you notice from prior Jaws movies?
I could.
But we'll get to the ones that are really bad when we get to the we'll talk more about it when we get to the parts I'm really thinking of. I don't know why I had it so early in my notes here.
Reused shots. The only one we talked about was near the end.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
So no, my answer is no.
So yeah, Mike decides. This all happens, and then he's like in bed, sweating, like he's got a bandage on his arm, and like no one questioned it. I guess. He caught it. No. This is why I put that note down. So when he's swimming away from the shark before he gets to the ship, there's parts where he grabs onto coral, which I hope that wasn't real coral because he breaks a bunch of it as he's pushing him. He's like propelling himself off rocks and coral. And they actually use that same exact shot twice of him swimming away. Like they show him swimming away, and then it shows another part of him swimming, and then it immediately goes back to that same scene. And I'm like, okay, okay, sure.
I didn't notice that.
So yeah, so Mike decides the next day he's got to go in the water because he does not want to. He doesn't want to get to the point where he can't go back in the water again.
Yeah, of course.
So he's trying to force him. And Jake's like, your wife is presenting her sculpture today. Don't you want to support your family? Whatever. So yeah, so he does that. So Mike decides to do that. And then, so that's when the event for Carla's sculpture happens. And Mario Van Peebles' father, who plays Mr. Whitaker, presents her sculpture, which is cool. But Thea sees a cool banana boat.
Yeah.
Out on the water. She's like, Mommy, I want to go. She's like, okay, fine. So she goes off and she starts, as the boat starts to drive away, and Carla's about to give her speech, that's when you see the shark in the distance. And everyone's like, oh my God. And Carla and Ellen and everybody runs down to the shore to tell the boat to stop. And that's when you get the first person shot of the shark coming up to the banana boat. And then you see the shark just propel itself out of the water and grab the lady in the very back of the banana boat in slow motion. Because you need it in slow motion.
Sweet potassium.
And as that happens, Carla is losing her goddamn mind. She is.
Oh, God.
Wow. Holy crap, man. She was. Ellen was more chill than she was. Like, Ellen was like, what? What's going on? So then you see the shark proceed to drag the motionless body of the woman it attacked down. And that's when Ellen's like, it's time. It's go time. It's time to kill you, you motherfucker. So
personal
Right. This time it's personal. So she goes and takes the boat that Michael and Jake were using earlier. She's gonna go out and she's gonna end this. This is it. Michael gets screamed at for not telling everyone there was a giant great white shark around in a place that great white sharks don't belong. Yeah, the wife was like, yeah, Carla is just pissed. Like, she is screaming at him. And then Mike pretty much is like, Jake, let's go. We got to go get her. They take a little dingy boat, and they're going. Yeah. And then they run into Hoagie, who's just out there fishing. And he's like, you ain't going anywhere with that thing. And they're like, well, what I do to you out there, Mr. Guy with a plane?
Yeah, right.
Good one, Jake. So they take the plane, and they got to go around and find Ellen. And then it goes back to Ellen on the boat, and she's searching for the shark, and the shark's actually been following her the whole time, and you see the fin behind her, but she doesn't notice it yet. Yeah. But then she notices it, and she turns around, and she says, "Come and get me, you son of a bitch." And I was like, all right, Ellen.
What's going on here?
So Hoagie, Mike, and Jake are flying over. They find a boat that looks like the boat, but it's not. It's a different boat. And so they got to go find it again, which then they find her, but then they're like, what is that? And they see the shark in full form swimming behind the boat, following her. And Hoagie takes the plane down, and as the shark attacks the boat, he flies over to scare the shark away. And he radios in that he needs people out here. He needs somebody to kill a very big shark. And then he decides, I'm going to crash the plane. I'm going to land the plane on the water because it's the only way we're going to be able to get to the boat, which is not the worst idea in the world. Because you would have had to go back to shore. You would have had to find a boat big enough to hold everybody there in a quick amount of time, and with the way the shark's acting, the shark could have already sunk the boat by the time you get back. Yep. So, okay, it is crazy, but it's not that crazy if in reality. So Hoagie lands a plane on the water, and the shark then attacks the plane. And then you're like, no, Hoagie's dead. Oh, and Ellen's like,
Hoagie's just so nonchalant about it. He's like, oh shit.
He goes back. Oh no, it's so good. Oh, and I pointed this out. The plane actually coming down the water is like obviously 100% practical. Like they land a plane on the water. Just
it doesn't look fake.
It's great. No, I'm pretty sure it's 100%.
But wait to the end. You want to know what fake looks like? We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. So Hoagie lands a plane in the water. Mike and Jake jump out. The shark then attacks the plane. Everyone's, oh no! And Ellen's like, why did you bring him here? I loved him. But then Hoagie lives. He starts crawling out. He comes up the side of the boat, and they're like, oh my God, how did you survive?
That's what we're asking.
So as this is going on, Jake and Michael are downstairs below deck. And Jake is rigging up a receiver, which they have to put into the shark, which then pretty much there's another thing that they use that like sends off this really high pitched noise, which then bothers the shark. Was it supposed to explode? Was that the whole purpose of it?
I just figured it was it was supposed to disrupt their, electrosensory organisms.
Right.
The ampullae of Lorenzini, which makes no sense. But.
Yeah, it was crazy. So the noise was just obnoxious. The noise from when he's setting it up and he turns it on the first time, I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Do not want.
But this is when it happens. So Jake Jake gets to the edge of the boat on I don't know what the heck that part of the boat's called. It's just like it's that long shaft part at the end. I don't know. If anyone knows what it's called.
Penis.
Well, Chet, can't put this on YouTube now.
Sorry. Hey, that's not inappropriate. That's a technical term.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
Is it the bow? Is it the bow though? Seriously, is that what it is?
Well,
Is that
I mean,
not
the
right?
bow is the front of the boat, but I'm talking about like that part, that
Oh,
shaft
okay.
that
Like that
protrudes from
specifically.
yeah.
Okay.
So he goes to the edge there, and that's when we get the shark jumping out, very slow and like hovering, like it was like snake-like. It was like, oh my god! And he throws the receiver into its mouth, but then he falls into its open mouth, and them shouting Jake in slow motion. Oh my god! And then he slowly drags him into slowly drags him down deep, and you see him in his mouth. So when we see him later, you're like, what? Okay. So you all think Jake is dead.
Jake.
This is where the flashbacks that make zero sense occur. Ellen did not see half of these things happen.
No.
Yep.
Ellen didn't see Sean die, and she didn't see Martin shoot the shark from Jaws, from the original Jaws.
Yeah.
The only thing
she can see it.
Right. The only thing she knows is the shark attacking the lady on the banana boat. That's the only thing she saw. So that was where it was like, okay, but I guess for the whole point of it, for her seeking revenge on this shark, to have those weird flashbacks, a lot of other movies have done it, but it's mostly flashbacks of things they've experienced. But of course, so they're trying to fix the boat. Well, Hoagie's trying to fix the boat, and she's distracted, and they finally get the boat going, and that's when she is just determined to run this shark down. And of course the flashbacks are playing, and as it's the scene of Martin about to shoot, and he says, "Smile, you son of a bitch," is when she rams the boat. Oh, we lost Nemesis.
No, he said his audio died. He had to reboot Discord. I don't know if you saw that.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Wait, he's coming back. He's coming back.
Oh no, there's two Parkers.
Well, there's two Parkers.
Hi,
Parkers.
everybody.
What does it mean? The one that came out of Mount Fuji is the cyborg.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What is happening? You're muted.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. Hey, welcome
Okay.
back.
My audio was gone for like 15 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna close this. And
I thought he saw, and he's just like, I'm gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going.
So yeah. So as the flashback ends of him saying that famous line from Jaws is when she rams the boat into the shark. But it's not, guess what? It's a toy boat ramming a toy shark. You can tell it's just a model, and it's terrible. It's awful. And the shark blows up.
Achimon did it better.
Oh my God. And this is where I'm talking about original reuse scenes. And not even reuse scenes from this movie. They took the original death scene from Jaws 1 and reused it for this movie. The scene where the shark's dead carcass of the shark is sinking to the bottom is the original. Yep. It's the same scene.
Oh.
Yep.
Wait, but we missed the part where Michael, as she's driving the boat, Michael is using that device, and the beep, and the shark comes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
what is it?
Oh my God! The shark made no noise the whole movie, but let's have it roar like a dinosaur.
We never brought up the fact that Ellen daydreams about stuff she's never seen.
Yeah, well, no, we did talk about it. You just were not here. You weren't. Yeah, you couldn't hear us talk about it.
Oh, I couldn't talk. I couldn't hear. I was just here like.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Oh, that drove me nuts. I brought it up to you like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, how is she daydreaming about something she's never freaking seen?
Yeah.
Oh my God, so good.
Such a cheesy ending, dude.
But yeah, so that happened. So there actually was an original ending to this movie that just consisted of her driving the boat into the shark and it impaling the shark to the end of the boat, which wasn't as cheesy because it was because they actually took the mechanical. They took a life-size shark and they impaled it into the actual boat they were on, but instead they wanted an explosion. So they went
'Cause
with
why
this.
not?
So the ending you see. So the ending you see in this movie was actually reshot way after the movie was finished, because this is what the studio wanted. They wanted an explosion. They wanted it to be like bam. Where the original ending that was shot on shot on location was, you can actually look it up. You can see you can watch the original ending of the boat impaling the shark, and it just dies like on the end of the boat. But it just wasn't.
Gave up.
Yeah,
I think that's way cooler. First off, secondly, I think I've seen that before. I think I've seen that shot before.
So I think that's why they used those shots from Jaws 1, because they didn't have those shots. They didn't actually have those shots. They're like, shit.
Yeah.
We got to go. So yeah, they actually used a model boat and a model shark and just pushed them together.
They were a model, all right.
Oh my god!
Because how does the shark explode?
I know. That's why I was like, why?
So I'm guessing it was from the from that receiver that was in its stomach. I don't fucking know. It was stupid. This is one of the. Listen, we watched. This was worse. This was a worse ending than Jaws 3D.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like Jaws 3D was a terrible movie altogether, but the ending was better. Like this ending sucked. This was just dog shit. And I blame the studio for this, because the fact that I have seen the original ending and the original ending made sense. But it just wasn't a big enough boom. There wasn't any boom, It's always got to be an explosion of some sort. So the next scene is and Jake is alive, everybody. We only watched him get dragged to the bottom of the ocean with in the shark's mouth, but Jake's alive and
but somehow he's underwater the entire time. But
yeah. He can hold his breath for a really long time.
It was wild.
Long capacity.
It was wild.
Well, I mean, getting bit by an animal with that large of a mouth or a bite radius on top of it, even if he lived through it, like clearly he did, he would be so septic. There's no way you'd live through that.
So again, they don't really show how they get back to shore, especially with a guy who's pretty much dying. It's kind of, they just jump to the next
boat.
Yep, they just jump to the next scene of Ellen leaving and Hoagie's flying her away. I guess her and Hoagie aren't going to be a thing. And telling Michael and Carla and Thea that they need to come up for Christmas. Or no, they need to come up for the summer. And that's it. Hoagie tells a story as the credits roll, and that is Jaws: The Revenge. Whoo! Boy, oh boy. Now, this is what gets me excited, because we are now going to be doing our rankings. And I feel this is going to be the first week, maybe, where rankings will be changed based on this movie. So the first ranking we will do, because there really wasn't any, there's no bad guys in this movie other than the sharks. So we're going to rank the sharks of Jaws. This is Bruce the Fourth, or whatever name you guys came up with for him. Is Bruce the Deuce? Where does Bruce the Fourth land on our ranking? So right now our rankings, of course, are just pretty much every list we have for Jaws is just Bruce, which from Jaws, Bruce the Deuce from Jaws 2, and Bruce the Turd.
Yes.
In 3. So where does Bruce the Fourth, or Bruce the Revenge, where does he go on this list? 4. Okay. Do you think you believe that the sharks from Jaws 3D were better than this one?
Oh, absolutely. There's 2 sharks. So 2 is better than 1.
Okay.
Even though it's 4.
Okay, so we have 2. Okay, so we have so we have 2 for last.
Yes.
Nemesis. This is gonna be bad if because I have.
I don't know. I mean, the scene where in the third one where he's going up to the underwater place, and the scene, they're both horrible. They both don't move.
Oh man.
Shark has terrible acting.
I think they focused more on the 4th. Like, you see the shark move way less, and they focus way too much on. I think the shark, it could be the same prop, but it just looks worse in the 4th movie.
I definitely think the third is probably just a little better because I hate how many times in the fourth one they have the shark come up out of water and then it's just a buoy. Like it's literally just it sits there on top of the water and just floats and then sinks. Like what is that? It's not an anchor, it's a shark. It's gonna swim.
The shark roars.
It does roar.
Yeah.
I blame the
that's
I mean that's based on the sound design, okay? That wasn't the shark himself, okay?
If the shark roars, I'm putting it number one. I mean that's pretty badass.
Bellows.
No, I'm gonna have to put it last.
No, he roared.
I
He didn't
don't-
bellowed. That was a roar, man. That was a
the
dinosaur.
Full-on roar.
The subtitle literally says "Shark roars." I was like, no. I was like, no.
All right, so you're
yeah.
so-
I'm gonna have to put it last because it's pretty horrid.
Wow, I guess I was wrong about this. I definitely thought this was better than Jaws 3D. Everything about Jaws 3D is hot dog shit. The sharks were fucking atrocious. The one scene of the shark just not moving towards the glass. You should put that shark last. Just that scene alone. This shark
But we had
actually
the
did
same
things
scene
though.
in the
All right,
fourth.
this shark
We
was very like. Listen, nothing will beat Bruce. All right, but I think this shark and Bruce the Deuce are on par with each other. All right, but that's my opinion. I'm already outvoted anyway, 3-1. So the votes. So the new ranking. It's not really new because we're just adding the fourth one to number 4, anyways.
Listen. Hear me out. Just adding different characteristics to the shark doesn't make it better. If you had a shark and you like Bruce, and then you say this one can growl, so it makes it better than the third one. I could say a bird can shoot acid out of its mouth, and it's better because it added characteristics to it that makes it better.
Oh, I'm not saying that the growling made it better.
No, but you also had the same scene as the third one. You had when he was going across the sunken ship.
Yeah, but that was like
it was the same.
But it was a
shadow.
shadow. I just thought it was funny because I just noticed the tail didn't move. But that scene is.
Did you see the tail move when he's going through the ship? No, he just was.
That's true. That was the best. You did it better than the shark, dude. You did way better than the shark.
Oh my god. Well, okay. Well, the new rankings are Bruce at number 1, Bruce the Deuce at number 2, Bruce the Turd at number 3, and Bruce the Fourth at number 4. So, well, that changed a lot.
Wait, whoa! I thought Bruce the Fourth got third.
No, you said that the shark from Jaws 4 goes fourth.
Oh yeah. Shut up. I'm overthinking it.
Where's the disappointment?
Oh man. Did we have any other rankings? Or was it just this in the movie?
So the acting in 4 was way better than the third.
Oh yeah.
To me, I thought the acting was. I actually enjoyed some of the characters in the 4th.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I actually enjoyed the humans better than the sharks in the 4th. I can say that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our final vote will be, where does Jaws the Revenge land on our Jaws rankings right now? The list goes Jaws at number 1, Jaws 2 at number 2, and Jaws 3D at number 3. Where does Jaws the Revenge land? DNA Gaming.
Third.
2 for 3.
Even with worse shark, because there was more human than worse shark.
Yeah.
And the humans were better.
I agree. I'm gonna have to say 3 because I enjoyed the humans way more.
The rankings are finally gonna change. Woo!
You got what you wanted.
Yes, I have to put this at number 3. I enjoyed this movie way more than Jaws 3D. I thought even though the shark did look terrible and it was terrible, at least I liked the interactions between the shark and the humans. And just the fact that they brought back Lorraine Gary, who was in the original and in Jaws 2. And yeah, the acting was definitely, I mean, listen, it wasn't great, but it was way better than Jaws 3D.
No, I mean, when I was talking to you during the movie, I said it's still okay acting, but compared to 3, it's great acting.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually enjoying those characters where with 3, every time when we were watching 3, every time I looked at you, I went, "What the fuck am I watching? Why am I watching this?"
The pacing was better too.
That was the longest hour and a half of my life. I swear to God, I was sitting there, And I'm like, Brett just kept looking over, and I'm like, this is great. I didn't have enough beers to get through that.
The pacing was better because this was shorter than 3 yet too. I think it was like perfect amount of time it needed to be.
An hour and 29 minutes. This was an animated movie time. Like that's I was like, okay. So our new rankings are at number 1, Jaws, number 2, Jaws 2, number 3, Jaws the Revenge, and 4, Jaws 3D. Next week is the finale of Jaws in review, meaning we need to figure out what the hell we're going to review next. Next week we review 1995's Cruel Jaws, aka Jaws 5.
I do have a closing comment.
What's up?
You were right, by the way, Parker. This movie is 100% that this storyline is lifted for the video game.
Yeah, 100%.
You go and you collect conch shells. You get the tracker. The tracker does the same noise in the game, like when he gets close. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to throw it out. So if you want to watch a better version or play it, just go play the NES game, even though that's terrible too.
But yes, next week we will be finishing up the Jaws in review with Cruel Jaws, aka the unofficial Jaws 5. I looked at the IMDb for this movie. I am scared on how bad this movie is going to be.
Yeah.
It's not even a gray white shark. It's a tiger shark. That's not a tiger shark. Oh, what? It's
what? That's not a knife. This is a knife. That's not a knife. It's a spoon. What? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not excited for this either.
Oh,
it's gonna take third place. It's gonna take third place.
It has a better IMDb.
It has a better.
The fourth one,
it's
so.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't understand how that's a thing.
I was like 3 months old when this came out.
Really? God, I was 10. I was 9 when this came out.
This movie ain't even rated, ladies and gentlemen.
3.3 on IMDb.
Yep. 0.3. No actors in it that anyone will recognize. There's no Brodies in this movie because so we'll get to it next week. But supposedly this movie has zero reference to any Jaws movies. It wasn't supposed to be. But in order for people to watch it, they marketed it as a Jaws film. So when it first was marketed, it was marketed as Jaws 5.
Yep.
But it's not. But chat, we're going to watch this next week, and I am scared. This is going to be bad. So yeah, next week, next Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, we will be back here to review Cruel Jaws, to finish out Jaws in review. And then this week, we will determine what franchise we will be reviewing next.
Hopefully something that has a good 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know,
the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
The Wizard of Oz and then Return to Oz.
Yeah,
I
terrifying.
Swear we do another
absolutely
one of these
terrifying.
Where, like Cruel Jaws. This looks horrible.
This is gonna be a shit show.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Oh man! So I will be putting a poll up on Twitter at some point this week to have you guys. I let the audience vote on what franchise we get to review next. I'm not putting Jurassic Park in review. I'm not putting Jurassic Park in the list yet because I'm going to let DNA Gaming have some time off before they come back onto the show for the next. How many Jurassic Park movies are there right now? 5, and then a 6 coming out next year. So, whoo!
We should just do Bad Boys next. I love all of them. So.
Maybe Bad Boys will be the set of movies we do next. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. Yeah. I hope everybody has a wonderful night, and we will see you all again next week. Bye.